Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate refuse to concur.
The senator from Jackson moves that the Senate refuse to concur in House amendments to Senate Bill 269. All those in favor will say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. I declare the motion adopted. The clerk will communicate the action of the Senate to the House. Senior Senator from the 16th.
Thank you, Mr. President. Would the Senate Finance Chair yield for a question?
The Senior Senator from the 4th. Will the Senator yield?
I'll try.
Senator yields.
Thank you. So what they did is they took our bill, the House took our bill, struck their bill into our bill, sent it over here, and we just refused to recede from the position. We're getting ready to send that back, or it's being sent back. My question is...
They put their bill into our bill and sent it over, isn't that
What's
correct?
that? I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The question is that the bill that they sent us, was it balanced?
Was it balanced?
Yes, sir.
The House bill?
Yes, sir.
I'm uncertain. Let's see how to answer that. I would assume so. I mean, you know, they have to look at revenue sources, and I'm uncertain as to what they did on the last day with their bill in terms of how they brought funding in to balance it.
Okay, well, it's my understanding that...
that's why we're refusing to concur, by the way. We're
right.
uncertain what they did.
Okay, well, it's my understanding is that it's at least $79 million that they are claiming, but they don't have those revenue sources because they had assumed that they would go into the funds of the various agencies, and they're counting that. So there's $79 million, at least, there might be more, where they're claiming it as revenue sources but don't exist.
You know, if they did that, I don't think they passed those revenue measures until before they did their budget. I'm not exactly certain, sir. I do not know exactly how, but I'm assuming that based upon what their responsibility is, that their budget was balanced.
Okay, well, so that's what came over. We're saying we refuse to receive. We're sending it back, but we're asking them to receive our budget. But as demonstrated, our budget has $139.3 million that doesn't exist of revenues. In the sense that, so we're asking them to take our budget that's not balanced. They send us a budget that's not balanced. And I'm just wondering what the negotiating position is, because both budgets are now not balanced. Both budget proposals, I should say, are not balanced. Would you agree with that?
No.
Okay, so which one's balanced?
Well, I would say that both budget proposals reflect the actions of their bodies. It's not quite midnight yet. And, you know, they've got some bills on the table over there in different ways they could raise revenue. I don't know what they'll do between now and midnight. But as you know, historically, and we spent 2 hours on the floor the other day kind of going over this, but there are ways that they could have, with 1 or 2 amendments or changes in their bill, to have presented it as balanced through certain types of cuts they could have done to present it as a balanced budget.
Well, anyhow, Senator, I know that our budget is not balanced because
our budget is balanced based upon the Senate budget is balanced based upon the actions of the Senate. And
right.
That, even though in reality you may think that, but there are ways that we can, in conference, adjust numbers inside those budgets and make cuts or whatever that we need to do to present a balanced budget in conference.
Well, several provisions were supposed to pass this legislative body in order for our budget to be balanced, and it did not.
Well,
So-
but several provisions did pass our body that allowed us
I'm
to have
talking
a
about the
balanced budget.
legislature. It's no way that those provisions
Well, you
are
may
going
be
to pass.
surprised at the end of the day, sir, when we bring back a conference committee report that there may be a balanced budget on your desk.
I might be surprised, that's for sure. What's interesting, Mr. Chairman, on our table, we have a lot of literature on asking the U.S. Congress to balance their budget, and we can't even seem like we're getting any closer balancing ours. I mean, Mr. Chairman, the other day I said this is a work of fiction. I think it's more like the Rocky Horror Picture Show, to tell you the truth. So we'll see how this plays out to the end of the day, but we have two proposals that are not balanced, and we're going to play this dance, and we'll see how it comes out at the end.
Well,
Thanks for your question.
I would, just in response to that, I would say that I'm uncertain of the product of the House, but we are not accepting we're not concurring with them. But I do know that we have presented a budget balance based upon the actions of the Senate, and we will meet them in conference to see exactly how we can deal with their actions or inactions in terms of bringing a balanced budget to the floor. That's our responsibility eventually. But right now, I think your question was, initially, you've gone off the original question, was there budget balance? And I'm going to assume, I don't know quite how to answer, so we assume that it was, based upon the fact that they would deal with their actions and we deal with ours, and now we come together. So in answer to that, I'm going to assume that it's balanced, that they did their work, and it is.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.